Hi everyone, my name is Ken. Welcome to This House. Today we are in Washington, Missouri, touring a historic Queen Anne home that is for sale. John Overschmidt is the listing agent and we'll meet him at the very end. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and flash up the stats on this house. And an interesting side note is that this home is actually going to include all of the furnishings that are inside of it. What do you say we go check it out? Come on. Walking inside of this home, guys, my jaw is just dropping. There are soaring ceilings above us. We can see all of the original pine flooring, which is 126 years old. As I mentioned outside, this house was built in 1895. So let's really start to take a look around this space. Above us is a crystal chandelier. And off to this side is a grand staircase. And it has some really interesting features. And I'll point out most whenever we go upstairs, but I do want to showcase this newel post with these hand-carved medallions right here. So let's just take a moment to really see this. Passing out of the stair hall, we now come into the parlor, and this is just decorated so gorgeously. Let's take a moment to really see these settees, and once again, these all come with the house included. Now I'm standing inside of the bay window and we can see it has all of its original millwork encasing the windows, and also it has the original hardware as well down here and the original latches. So these are just really interesting features and things that just can't be replicated today, at least not in a cost-effective manner. So as we start to swing around the living room, we come to the hearth, and this is beveled brick. And above the space is a ceiling fan, and the ceiling fan, of course, is not original to the house, but it has been decorated and garnished in such a way that it has these ornamental crystals that surround it and kind of give it a period accurate feel. So you could imagine if they did have fans like this in the 1800s, that they probably would have looked something like this. Off of the parlor is the dining room, so we're going to open up these pocket doors. Now come over here and take a look at this. These still have their original hardware on them. So if we look over here, and we've seen this before, they have a mechanism that you press and it opens, and then you can press it again, opens, closes. Passing into the dining room now, the first thing that really demands our attention is this rustic chandelier. And of course, this is not actually original to the house. And this is a detail that we're going to notice as we move through the home, that each chandelier and light fixture is just a little bit different, and all the rooms are just so unique. And over here is a window that overlooks the pool and the hot tub, and we will get to those very last. But first, let's just kind of take a moment to look around this space. Passing through the dining room, we now come to this little nook space, and this is pretty grand. If we look up, there is another chandelier here, and it's just really adorable how she's decorated this. So off to this side is a bathroom, and we can just take a peek in here. It has a gravity flow toilet, it has a retrofitted piece of furniture that now contains the sink on it, and it has a full bath and shower. Now continuing on, we come to the mother-in-law's quarters, and originally the person who built this house was a veterinarian, and this is where his veterinarian practice was. So you could imagine that this would have been set up with tables and medications, possibly old apothecaries, and he would have treated people's pets and possibly livestock as well in the same spot. So first over here is a full kitchen, and this is not the primary kitchen for the house. We will get to that, it's super exciting. But let's just take a moment to see this. We can see that it has these beautiful countertops, it has these custom cabinets, and instead of handles, there are actually spoons that are bent and you can pull out. So that's just a really fun feature. There are modern appliances here. There's this vent hood here, and it's kind of steampunk how it all comes together with these big chains and these really large ductwork pieces here. And over here is a dresser that has been retrofitted, and it contains the microwave. And then of course there's a small window here where you can look out onto the main street. Now as we start to explore the mother-in-law's quarters, there is actually an entrance to the outside of the house, and this could be a private entrance as you walk into these quarters. It is set up right now with double beds, and there is actually a bathroom off to this side. It's currently being remodeled, so we're not going to be able to see in there today, but I can show you guys another really awesome detail. So at the top of these vaulted ceilings, this amazing ceiling fan. Coming out of the mother-in-law's quarters, we are now going to start exploring the rest of the house. So we are going to cut through the dining room, and this is going to take us to the kitchen. So let's go ahead and peek in here. Walking into the kitchen, this is just astounding. So once again, we have these custom cabinets that match what we just saw in the mother-in-law's quarters. There are unique spoons that are used for each and every handle. And over here is a retro Frigidaire refrigerator. And this is just a really fun element to include in the space. And once again, this comes with the house. As we walk further into the kitchen, we are greeted by a giant peninsula, and this has seating for 5 here. The edges here are honed and they're rough, and this just adds so much value to the overall aesthetic of the space, just how it all ties together with this kind of like rustic and new blend while maintaining this very unique charm. So come on through here, and I'm very excited to show you these appliances. So this old stove, and let's take a closer look at this. This is a Kalamazoo. And across from the stove is a clawfoot sink, and we have never seen anything quite like this before. And even the claws down here are painted cherry red. So it's just another one of those really fun details. Let's take a closer look at this. And tucked away over here is a more modern oven as well as a microwave, and of course a stainless steel high-end refrigerator and freezer. Now, passing out of the kitchen, we will start to explore the second floor, and come on through here. First off, we see some just amazing millwork as it rounds out and goes up. So that's not the only detail that we'll see that catches us. There's also what would traditionally be used on a tin ceiling has been used as the kickboard for these stairs. As we start to round the corner on this landing, there is privacy glass, and if we look really closely, it's almost like there are these etched daisies that are in here. As we arrive at the top of the stair hall, we can really see how these banisters all play out. So if you come over here and we look down, there's this void that runs from the first floor all the way up to the top of the ceiling here. And this void just really helps to make the space more grand. Before we make our way to the first bedroom, I do want to point out this detail that's meant to protect the corners. Now, we can imagine that this would have been pine like the rest of the wood that we've been seeing in the house, but it's been painted over. So let's just keep our eyes peeled for these little details. Now, passing into the first bedroom that we'll see, it has the original millwork, it has the transom window above, and let's go take a peek at this. Walking in here, this space really is quite large, but the furniture is so big that I feel tiny. And once again, I'm 6'1", so I would be willing to bet that this thing is probably almost 8 feet tall. So once again, all of this furniture comes with the house. There's this beautiful crystal scale that's here, and we're going to see its twin in the bedroom that's just right across the way. But in the meantime, let's just kind of take a glance around the space. Passing out of this bedroom, we now come to the bathroom. So come on in here. We can see the marble floors, and behind me here is something really special. So this is a balcony that opens up to the backyard, and we're not actually going to go out there today. It's a little rainy and gloomy, so we'll just stick to the inside for now. But over here, there's another gravity flow toilet, and it is just as ornate as the one that we saw first downstairs. And over here is an old converted dresser that has been turned into a vanity. Moving along, we are now going to come to the second bedroom on this floor. So come on in here. The furniture in here is also massive. It is solid wood, and once again, this all comes with the house. Let's just take a moment to pan around the space. Conjoined to this bedroom is another bedroom, and this has very similar furnishings to the one that we just saw. So as we move around here, we are now directly above the parlor, and this is the same bay window that we saw downstairs. And the windows, they don't start at the floor with their encasements, but instead they start with sills at about knee height. And right here is a compact radiator, and I believe this is the first time we are seeing one of these in this house. So let's just take a closer look at this and then see the rest of the room. Let's make our way up to the third floor, and we will see the final bedroom, and that is hidden away behind this door, so let's go see what's up here. As we step onto the third floor, this is all one open space, so they have it set up with 2 beds, and the ceilings in here are just massive. They soar up, they start to vault, and then they actually coffer at the top to create a flat space, from which another very unique ceiling fan is suspended. Now, behind me is a dormer window, and this looks out over the downtown Washington area. And over on this side of the room, there are 2 more dormer windows that look out towards the front of the house. Off to this side is the bathroom. So come on in here. The first thing that we really see is this repurposed and refurbished dresser that houses the sink and acts as the vanity. And we've been seeing this throughout the rest of the bathrooms, and this is just one of those details that just makes the house feel really unique and really charming. So come on through here, and this is going to take us to the toilet. And unlike the other toilets we've been seeing, this one is not a gravity flush. It is just a normal toilet, but it is still decorated in an ornate way, just like the others. And finally, we pass into the shower, and this has a beautiful shower bench as well as great hardware and a hexagon tile flooring, and I believe that this is marble. Same with the flooring just outside of the shower here and the rest of the bathroom. Now that we've seen the entire house, let's go see the backyard. Making our way out to the backyard, let's go ahead and cut through the stair hall, and to get there, we're going to cut back through the kitchen. And before we see the backyard, which is really awesome, I want us to take a look inside of this drawer because there's some old historical photos that are just really interesting. In this first photo, we can see the spoons that were used on all of the cabinets. And then we can see some process photos of the owners whenever they were restoring the house. And this last one is a historical photo in black and white, so we can see just how much of the original charm and original form has remained in this house throughout all of these years. Now, passing out of this door, we are going to come to the backyard, so let's go check it out. Walking down these stairs, this is going to take us into the back garden. And over here is a very large paved area, which is perfect for hangouts. It's set up with multiple tables. It has a fire pit, a giant grill, and you can just really imagine all of the entertaining that you could do in this space. Now, this is the really fun part. So come over here and let's check out the pool area. Walking in here is just amazing. This is not really something that you would expect to find out here in Washington, Missouri. There is a very modern pool, there is a hot tub over here, and there are Hollywood lights that are strung across the entire space. So you can imagine how this looks lit up at night. And surrounding the space to give it more privacy are all of these refurbished doors. So these are all very old, and they've been kind of put up here as a privacy fence. And this just adds so much to the charm of the house and really continues the theme from the inside of repurposing old materials and giving them new life elsewhere. John, thank you so much for opening up the doors to this house. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about your involvement with this property?
Sure, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, Ken.
My name is John Overschmidt. I am the listing agent for this property here, 311 West 5th Street in Washington, Missouri. I'm with Experienced Real Estate Partners in Chesterfield, Missouri, and EXP. Actually from Washington, Missouri, so the property is near and dear to my heart.
Ken, thanks again. I really appreciate the opportunity.
All right, John, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Likewise.